Hey, Gabriel here with the Icon Capture Jeep Intelligence Brief for August 18th, 2026. All right, government affairs directors and influence practitioners, we need to talk because this is one of those boards where if you only look at the opportunity count, you are going to misread the market. Here's what I want to do with you today. I want to walk through the new opportunity flow, the legislative and executive movement, the regulatory and court signals, and then bottom line what this means if you're actually managing a portfolio right now and trying to decide where to lean in, where to stay patient, and where you may be kidding yourself. Quick note before we get in, the GPS demand signal review is still open. 8 seats. The terrain that triggered this session has not shifted. Federal demand signal, 0 new opportunities in the pipeline. If you've been watching these briefs and thinking about it, today's board makes the case. Code GPS 26W3 holds a seat, and the 30-day preview links in the description. So let's get right to the facts. Over the last 168 hours, GPS surfaced. 0 new opportunities posted on SAM.gov, 0 federal hiring signals across 0 agencies. And all of that is happening while market BCL is 0%, with 0 agencies stalled under the continuing resolution. This week's signal, or more accurately, the lack thereof, is a stark reminder of the gap between accessibility and raw volume in the opportunity flow. With 0 opportunities logged in the past 168 hours, government affairs directors and influence practitioners are left to ponder the reasons behind this silence. Normally, the capture ticker provides a steady drip of actionable intelligence, but today it's a blank slate. This absence isn't just a quiet week. It indicates potential underlying issues in how compliance friction and protest risk are manifesting across the board. When one looks at the big compliance load, BCL percentage, the message isn't just about burdensome regulation, but about the signals being sent down the pipeline. A 0% BCL suggests either an absence of movement or a blockage in the channels that usually deliver these opportunities. The top postings have nothing to offer, which hints that the real story might be a recalibration of agency priorities or an unseen lane change in policy focus. In practice, this means professionals need to read between the lines. It's not just the absence of data, but the pressure it implies on future accessibility. If you read this policy tape, you recognize the potential for sudden movement once these frictions resolve. Understanding the board through the capture terminal can help us anticipate where to position for the next wave of opportunity once the current drag clears. The secondary signals this week are just as telling. Terrain holes and the absence of hiring spread indicate a market that's paused rather than moving forward. The lack of court opinions and lobbying clusters further emphasizes a period of strategic quiet. For managers who read this tape, these conditions suggest a market mispricing that's ripe for savvy portfolio adjustments. Terrain holes often signal gaps in market activity, areas where typical engagement would occur but currently stand still. When combined with a hiring freeze, it suggests uncertainty or a recalibration of priorities within agencies. This can be a critical time for influence professionals to refine their focus, waiting to pounce when these holes begin to fill. Additionally, the dearth of court opinions and lobbying clusters could indicate a strategic withdrawal or a regrouping before the next major push. Smart portfolio moves might involve positioning around potential shifts in these areas, anticipating where the next wave of policy focus will land. This combination of stalled indicators is a rare chance to evaluate long-term strategies before the expected resurgence of activity. In essence, this quiet period is not a time for inaction but for preparation. It's an opportunity to study the market mispricing and understand where the next significant moves will arise, ensuring you're ready to capitalize when the terrain shifts. In a market defined by regulatory and court signals creating compliance friction, protest risk, and lane changes, government affairs and influence professionals must navigate a complex terrain with zero opportunities and stalled agencies. Are we accurately assessing the pace of policy changes and their implications for our stakeholders? How are we mitigating protest risks while maintaining compliance? Are we strategically positioned to adapt to sudden lane changes in regulatory environments? The conviction is clear. Staying agile and informed is the only way to convert potential roadblocks into strategic footholds in this uncertain landscape. One more time on this, because the brief we just walked through is exactly the argument for it. The Capture Terminal. Same intelligence we just read, filtered to your book, running overnight. The GPS demand signal review is still open, 8 seats. The terrain that opened this session is still holding. Code GPS26W3 at communities.theicon.ai/capture the the-govcon-elite. Window closes August 21st at midnight. 0.0 million records, 4 verticals ready. Provenance traced from bill to award. Like and subscribe if you're managing a federal grant, research, GovCon, or commercial portfolio. I drop a new GPS brief every weekday. All links, terminal preview, Shipley sessions, live cohort calendar, and the full brief are at communities.theicon.ai/capture/the-govcon-elite. Register free and it's all there. This is Gabriel. I'll see you tomorrow. Hello, just checking in since it's been a while.